Alright, hey everyone, Luke99 here, coming at you with another video here, and today I'm bringing you a very special video. Recently, this past Tuesday, I know this is going up Wednesday, I'm very sorry, I could not get it up Tuesday because of the late time. I attended a WWE event where it had the commercial-free Smackdown, and then they taped the next week's Raw. Caution, this video does have spoilers, so if you do not want to hear what happened next Raw or the Smackdown, please leave the video now. But basically, I went to WWE. I was very excited. I had okay seats, and first of all, when I got there, I bought a Miz t-shirt, the new one that says "Haters Love Me," and then on the back it says "Cause I'm Awesome." And so I got there, and we had a dark match right before the SmackDown portion of the show started with Alex Riley versus Michael McGillicuddy. It was a pretty good match just to get everyone hyped up, and A-Rai won by the Hawaiian Smasher, and which is his finisher, by the way, if you did not know that. The crowd was actually the crowd was decent. Not as good as when I went in. I believe it was May, maybe June. It was the last week for build up before the Over the Limit pay-per-view, and so then they had to get the Miz TV set up for the SmackDown part of the show. So Miz came out, and then you had the Biggie Langston guy, AJ and Ziggler come out, because now AJ and Ziggler are a couple. AJ was explaining of why she betrayed Cena, and then, you know, they just went on with that. Overall, it was a pretty boring promo, actually. But what made it exciting is Miz said something like this. He said, AJ recently, as in the past, he had a big red monster, a goat face. I forget what he called Punk and Cena. But then he said, and now she settled for the sixth member of One Direction, which I found pretty funny. And then that's where Biggie Langston stepped in, and he hit his finisher. I'm not sure what it's called. And they did the skipping and kissing and all that stuff. So then the first match of the night, which the crowd was, decently excited for, Sin Cara versus Sandow. It was a good match. It was really even. Kind of disappointed Cody didn't even get involved, and the crowd got a couple of Cody's mustache chants going. We were really cheering for Sin Cara, and basically, the Shield came out, which I thought the Shield was going to come out where I was sitting, because to the left and to the right of me were like these tripods set up with cameras on them, but they were coming out like maybe 4 sections over to the right of me, and that was cool to see them. And basically what happened is they threw in a Rey Mysterio mask, and Sin Cara was looking at it, and then the Shield came in, and they just started beating the crap out of Sin Cara. And what actually happened is Seth Rollins went up to the top rope, and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, by the way, Dean Ambrose is my favorite Shield member, Roman Reigns was like twisting the leg of Sin Cara. Then Roman Reigns did this sick nasty jump, and his knee landed right on Sin Cara's leg, and they announced later on in the night that Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio were receiving medical treatment. So that's pretty good. And right after that, we had Santino versus Tensai, leading off of the what happened on the Slammy Awards. Overall, it's just a comedy match. It seemed like the crowd enjoyed it. We got a Fat Albert chant going. And, it was overall a good match. Santino won. Tensai went for, his running senton. Santino got out of the way, and then he pinned him 1, 2, 3. Overall, it's a decent match, just comedy, like I said. And right after that, we had a 6-man tag team match, which in my opinion was the I think it's tied for first for the best match of the night, but I'll get on that later. The crowd was just great for this one. When Daniel Bryan came out, they were just chanting, yes, 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 yes. And after every move he did, there was a yes. And basically it was Kofi and Team Hell No against Wade and the Primetime Players, which we had no fan reaction for the Primetime Players. Everyone was silent, but overall, it was a really, really good match. Basically what happened is Kofi knocked Barrett out, I think, or it was vice versa. And then Darren and Titus went for like a double football stancing, and then Dan Brown pulled Titus and O'Neil. Darren Young looked over and he's like, "What the?" And then he got caught for a choke slam for the 1, 2, 3. And which I think my favorite part of the show was like crowd wise is going 1, 2, 3, and then cheering or booing, and then also like of when they kick out 2, you go 2. It was overall just a great experience. But next up was the Punk promo. It was pretty good. He mentioned the Pittsburgh Penguins. He talked about see, he had 2 promos that night, so I'm getting mixed up. But I forget what he said, and basically he called Pittsburgh a hellhole, and Ryback came out, and he's like, "Feed me." Which I literally got the chills and I started marking out because it was the first time I saw Ryback live, because last time I went, Ryback was not wrestling on Raw, and that's the show that they recorded. So overall, it was really cool to see Ryback. And after that, he had a match against Antonio Cesaro, which this match was kind of hard for me to see because the people in front of me had like this big green and pink sign, and it was so annoying because I couldn't see anything. But Ryback ended up winning with Show Shock, and I thought he was going to botch it because it looked like Cesaro was going to fall. But after that, Caitlyn said she didn't want to be AJ's friend anymore, so then they had a big backstage fight, and Eve was facing Caitlyn for the Divas Championship. And like I said, this match was very, very boring. But and the people in front of us were keep waving that sign, so it was really hard to see and it was really annoying. But what happened is Caitlyn was just dominating Eve. Eve grabbed onto the ref's legs, and the ref was trying to move away. She tripped the ref, and the ref called for the DQ. So Caitlyn won, but she did not get the title. Eve retained the title. And next up was Brad Maddox versus Brodus Clay. You could tell it was Brodus Clay because they rose a disco ball when Maddox was coming out. Like, it gave it away so much, but Maddox was pretty cool. The way he came out is he was like, Brad Maddox, and then he's like, no one will ever forget the name Brad Maddox. And I think he was going to win against Brodus Clay tonight, but he did not. And he basically got dominated, but overall, it was a pretty good match just to see Brad Maddox in action. I'm a big fan of him. And the main event was Ziggler and Big Show against Sheamus and Cena. Overall, it was a decent match, and while they were actually wrestling, they were setting up for the Raw portion of the show, like they were setting up all the Christmas trees and presents, but I'll get to that on later because it actually is involved. So then, the tag team match, Cena, we got some Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks chants going, and Cena was on a roll for a little bit, and then Big Show stopped him with a spear. Then they were just dominating Cena. Cena tagged in Sheamus. Sheamus hit like the 10 hits on Ziggler or Big Show. I'm not sure which one, I don't remember. And then he built some offense, and then he tagged back in Cena. Cena hit the 5 moves of doom, and Big Show took out Sheamus, and Sheamus took out Big Show, and then they left the ring, which they couldn't keep the camera on them because everyone would see the Christmas set, even though it doesn't make any sense because both are in Pittsburgh, so I think people are going to find out anyways. But so they went away, and then Dolph Ziggler hit a zigzag, and the count was so close. I actually thought Cena got pinned for the 1, 2, 3, but apparently he kicked out at 2, which I thought was a great moment. Then Cena climbed for the attitude adjustment, went for the pin, but in came Biggie Langston. Yeah, I don't know his name. I forgot it. It just left my mind, but he came in and hit his finisher again, and it ended with Biggie Langston standing over Cena and AJ skipping around and kissing Ziggler. So, Overall, it was a great SmackDown. I actually preferred it over the Christmas Raw. However, there was each one match that was great for both of them. But let's get into the Raw portion of the show. The special guest host was Santa Claus, and he came out, ho ho ho, and everyone was so happy. And then Del Rio came out, and he hit Santa, and then Santa had to go away in a stretcher, which Santa was Mick Foley, by the way. And so everyone started chanting, "You killed Santa, do 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 do, you killed Santa," and after that, they taped it up, like crime scene tape and that kind of stuff. And then the first match was Kane versus Cody Rhodes. It was overall a pretty good match. Kane kind of dominated through most of it, but Cody Rhodes hit a disaster kick on his arm, and it was a really good match. It ended in a chokeslam, and that was the first match of the night. And then right after, which this is where they had one of rebotches of the Raw portion, and it said that it was going to be a 6-man Santa's Helpers Divas tag team match, but it was actually 8 when they came out. It was team Layla, Alicia Fox, Caitlyn, and who's still one? Layla, Caitlyn, Alicia Fox, and who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting someone. Natalia, that's who it is. And then it was against Tamna, Rosa, Eve, and and Oksana. There we go. And the match was, it was decent, better than most Divas matches, but what was really exciting was the end. All the Divas hit their finishers. I'm not sure in which order, but, Natalia had her sharpshooter on, Layla hit her finisher, Tamna hit her super kick, Oksana hit her finisher, which I didn't even know she had a finisher. It's like a spine buster sort of move. Rosa hit clothesline out of the ring. It's one of those epic tag team endings, and then Caitlyn caught Eve for the victory with that big gut buster for the 1, 2, 3. And then after that was the, I'm not sure which one of these came first. If I get them mixed up, I'm sorry. Please comment and say that I did mess up. But next up was the Lumberjack match, and this was the second botch of the night. Basically, all the Lumberjacks came out, and then they had to go back, and then they came out again, but this time they had, Santa's hats on. And the Lumberjack match had to be the worst match of the night against with Sheamus and Big Show. It just was boring. There were some good spots with the elevator drop and all the Lumberjacks facing each other, but I'll get onto that later on in the night as well. And it was a decent match, like I said. Not the best, but it was probably the worst. And Sheamus ended with a bro kick after Big Show missed a knockout punch. And he won 1, 2, 3. And then next up, because I was disappointed because I thought Zack Ryder was going to be in the SmackDown portion of the show. As you know, Zack Ryder is my favorite besides Dan Bryan. They're tied for first right now. They're brr. And so Tunga came out and he was saying of how Del Rio was the victim of the Santa incident, and I couldn't really hear him because we kept going what, and booing him. And then Ryder came out, and I literally just stood out of my seat and I started going woo 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 and just flipping out. And Ryder cut a minute promo and he went woo woo woo, and the match was pretty good. It was a Christmas miracle because Ryder won. He hit the Broski boot, went for the Rough Rider. David Otunga countered, and he went for the verdict, but then Ryder countered into the Rough Rider and got the 1, 2, 3. Could not have been a better moment for me during that night. Wasn't the best match of the night, but it was probably the moment where I was the most happy with this show. Next up was Miz and Kofi tagging up. I know they're both faces, but it was still kind of shocking for me because they had that big feud. And Barrett and Cesaro. Overall, it's a pretty good match. Kofi hit a Trouble in Paradise on the second rope, and then went into the skull-crushing finale. I think it was on Barrett, but it may have been on Cesaro. And, that was a pretty good match. And then this was where the last botch of the match happened, in my opinion. Great Khali versus Brad Maddox. Brad Maddox came out singing, and he's like, "Merry Christmas, ladies." And then Khali came out with Hornswoggle, which they looked absolutely ridiculous. And Khali dominated him, and those big chops seemed like, oh my gosh, it hurt so much. And Brad Maddox's chest, his whole chest was red. And but when Brad Maddox built the offense, the only 2 moves he did was botched by Khali. It was like a drop kick when Khali was on the ground, and Khali fell back before Brad Maddox even touched him, and everyone was booing Khali because he messed up Brad Maddox's spotlight and made him seem like a bad wrestler. And then the second last match of the night, which I thought was one of the best matches of the night, 12-man tag team match. They named it 12 Days of Christmas, which it was all the Lumberjacks in a tag team match. And let's see if I can remember this. I think it was Heath Slater. Rem B. It was Rem B. Tensai. Primetime Players, I think, were in it. How many does that give us? That gives us 5. There has to be one more singles competitor. Maybe I'll think of it later on. Hold on. It was a lumberjack, I know that. Well, okay, let's go with the face team then. It was, the Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd. That's 2. Brodus Clay, Santino, that's 4. And then there's another tag team. Oh, and then the Usos. But then who was the... I can't remember that last guy. It was, it was some... Maybe I'll think of it later on. Hold on, I'll pull this window up. This is going to be your source. What? Oh, I forgot Rem B was 3 people. Jeez, I'm a derp. Alright. So, and basically, it was an overall good match, and just like the Divas match, it ended with everyone hitting their finisher. It kind of had a different ending because one of the Usos' brother hit the big butt move, and then he tagged in Justin. Justin hit a moonsault, tagged in Tyson. Tyson hit his big elbow, tagged in the other Uso. The Uso hit the splash, and it was over. Which overall is a really good match. It gave a lot of spotlight for all those mid-carders that just don't get as much TV time, and I thought it was a good match. Now it came for the last match, John Cena versus Del Rio in a Miracle on 34th Street or something like that, which had be my, it's tied for the best match of the night with, the 6-man tag team match on Smackdown. And overall it was really, really, really good, because what they did is they had these presents set up, and if you opened a present it was like a weapon or something. So, first they were normally wrestling, and then Cena grabbed a present and it was a chair. So then they used a chair for a bit. Del Rio's first present was a pie, and then so he used that, and but he hit Ricardo instead. And then Cena used a bowling ball, and he hit Del Rio in his private areas twice with the bowling ball. He slammed a and just like a unopened present on Ricardo. And at one point Del Rio, which is kind of like a comedy match, I guess, but it was really entertaining. And so Del Rio opened a present, and it was a teddy bear, so he threw it at Cena, and Cena just took no effect, and he grabbed a Christmas tree and slammed it into him. And basically, how the match ended is Santa came out, and then Ricardo tried stopping him. He hit him with the his bag of gifts, and then it was actually Mick Foley, like I said, so he gave Mr. Sacco to Del Rio, and then Cena hit him into the Attitude Adjustment, and it was over. And then after that, like, Cena cut a little promo for Del Rio, and I think Del Rio is now officially a face, and they gave out some gifts after, high-fiving everyone and that kind of stuff. So overall, it was a great experience for me. It was like 5 hour show, or a bit less than that, I think. And it was just great to see 2 shows in one, plus that little bonus match. I got a new Miz t-shirt, and it was one of the best nights in my life. So please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and oh wait, I forgot something. CM Punk also got a promo on Raw, and there was like a "Here we go Steelers, here we go" chant, and Ryback is facing CM Punk on January 7, 2013 in a TLC match. So please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.